One of the most common questions you can expect to be asked in an interview is, why did you leave your last job? It is like a recruiter mainstay and a hiring manager mainstay. They're going to ask this almost every single time. And here's the big secret. You could absolutely get this question wrong very easily, and most candidates do. But there are certain answers that recruiters and hiring managers love to hear. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what those answers are. Let's go. Okay, so first things first, why is this question asked? Why did you leave your last job is basically a question that's all around risk mitigation. What they're looking for here are red flags. What is a red flag when it comes to answering this question? Basically, it's anything negative. So if you say anything along the lines of, well, I really didn't like my company's culture, or I really just didn't get along with my boss, or I was part of a really negative team and I just wanted to get away from that. All those things could be true. I just want to acknowledge that. Like, those are real things real people deal with all the time. But no hiring manager wants to hear that. No recruiter is going to hear that and be like, oh, good. And no HR professional is going to hear that and be like, great. What they're going to do, fair or unfair, and it's often unfair, is they're going to assume you were part of the problem. You might have had the worst boss in the world, but when it comes to answering this question, you absolutely cannot say that. You cannot say, I had a bad boss and that's why I decided to leave my last role, because most of the time, it will get you knocked out of the interview process. So let's talk about what you need to say and what hiring managers love to hear from their candidate. Hey, by the way, if you're finding value in this video, hit that like button. It's free, it tells YouTube that I don't suck, and it really helps my channel and motivates me to make more videos like this for you. Okay, so one of the things hiring managers love to hear is that you were recruited from your last job to go work for a previous manager again. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so you work one job and you leave. Then your hiring manager, the person who used to be your manager, recruits you to come work at a new company for them, right? They reach back out to you. They say, hey, I've got a new position. I'd love to have you on my team again. You go and take that. Hiring managers love that, because what it basically says is one of your past managers valued your contribution so much that they recruited you to come work for them again. You're a proven commodity. You had a hiring manager who was really impressed with you, really valued what you brought to the table, so much so that they were willing to recruit you to come work for them again. It is a huge green flag, and hiring managers love to hear that. I had a hiring manager last week say that's one of the better reasons that someone could ever leave a role, is that they're going to work with a manager who used to be their manager, but for a second stint. Another reason they love hearing is that you recruited away by a client or a partner, right? Now, this is why it's positive. You interact with a lot of people in your role, potentially, right? But if you're one of those people who interacts with a partner, interacts with a vendor, interacts with a client, and they think, wow, this person is so good, we need to bring them over to our company. What that basically says is that you're probably pretty awesome at what you do. You are good at what you do, and you're so good that they decided to bring you on. So, your answer might sound like this. I was working for ABC company as a blank, and I was working with a customer, and we had been working together for about 6 months, and they had a position come open on their team, and they reached out to me and they said, hey, we've really enjoyed working with you, and we think you'd be great at blank, right? Like, that's what it could sound like. They recruited you because you had really good interactions with them. It's a very good answer. Now, another great way to answer this is that you took a role that is inarguably bigger and better. You had a bigger scope. You were using newer, more cutting edge tools. It's the type of move that you would take because it's like an incredibly compelling move. So you're working for a company and a recruiter or a hiring manager reaches out to you and they're basically pitching you on the opportunity, and it's clearly a superior opportunity to what you were doing. That is another great reason to leave an organization. And nobody's going to begrudge you that. Now, the thing you need to make sure you don't do is you don't talk negatively about the company you're working for as you're giving this answer. You don't want to say this other company came out and it was a really great opportunity. They afforded me A, B, and C, and my current company, no matter how many times I asked them, they didn't give it to me. You don't want to do that. Just make it about where you're going, not where you're leaving. And if you can do that, you're going to do great. Now, one of the things that might happen to you is you might find yourself in a group interview. And if you're in a group interview, it's actually really hard to stand out as a person they can hire. But there's actually a formula. And if you follow it, you will win the group interview and you will get job offers. I made this video about it right here. So if you want to know how to do that, go watch that video.